Welcome to my podcast, Conscious Living. I'm Lokesh Babu, author of The True Self. As the eldest son of a traditional Indian family, my life was scripted and I was expected to follow the values and needs of family and society. But I defied all those expectations. I began making my own choices in life. Though those choices brought a lot of pain, struggles, suffering, separation, loneliness, and even 3 near-death incidents, I'm at peace with myself and happy with my own journey of seeking. I'm excited to share my experiences and the universal wisdom in this podcast. In this episode, I'll focus on relationships and how to see the difference between the truth versus our own truth. Relationships have become main purpose of life. Meaningful relationships gives us happiness, belonging, and sense of purpose to our existence. Making connections with other individuals and maintaining these relationships develop a sense of meaningfulness in life. Doesn't matter what type of relationship, do not burn the boat after crossing the river. I feel like the burnt boat in majority of my relationships. I get burnt to ashes and they leave me with no choice but to keep rising out of ashes like a phoenix. For example, whether it is my parents, family, friends, partners, and our ex-partners, all I heard from them is I am arrogant, headstrong, stubborn, manipulative, challenging, narcissist, not committed, too distant, and he's from a different planet. Well, I don't blame them for me not playing the society expectations and not meeting their conditional love. I was always seeking unconditional love, whether it is motherly love, fatherly love, siblings love, romantic love, children love, or in a marriage, regardless of my shortcomings. I am aware I'm not perfect, and I am aware that I have many flaws and vulnerabilities. I was sent to boarding school at a young age, and unfortunately, I didn't experience unconditional love. Everything turned out to be either conditional or I haven't lived to their expectations. I was 8 years old when my parents sent me to pre-boarding school and then to boarding school. And I completed the rest of my education far from home. From year 6 to year 12, I lived at a boarding school in South India, 750 kilometers away from my parents. During my boarding school days, I only visited my parents and family once a year for the summer holidays. Back then, there were no smartphones or technology to stay in regular contact. Not only did this give me the freedom to think independently of my family, but it also meant that during my important teenage years, I have also limited interaction with the broader community and society. So I had limited communication or no communication with my parents or family, leading to not experiencing motherly love, fatherly love, and family love. This made me to be independent, and most of times I didn't know how to be in a relationship, as I didn't experience or see during my childhood the importance of relationships. I always craved for unconditional love, which is accepting anything the other person does without protest, even if it's hurtful to you or them. It doesn't mean doing everything the other person wants you to do and expecting them to do the same. You can't love someone unconditionally unless your love remains unchanged despite their actions. Most people experience unconditional love from their mothers, and that relationship is never ending. My mother died at a young age with cancer. So that motherly love is something I feel deep inside me missing when I think of relationships and how it impacted on all of my other relationships. Talking about relationships, I want to share a quote from Khalil Gibran, which had a massive impact on me. And this quote can be related to every type of relationship. You are born together, and together you shall be forevermore. You shall be together when the white wings of death scatter your days. And you shall be together even in the silent memory of God. But let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone, even as the strings of the lute are alone, though they tremble with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts, and stand together, yet not too near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. This quote summarizes: to have an unconditional love doesn't matter what type of relationship. To experience the truth, which is unconditional, versus our own truth, which is majority of times conditional. There are many truths in a personal relationship. Your truth versus their truth are not the same. If we dig deep enough, we start to see all the conditions. The beginning of love or relationship is to let the other person be perfectly themselves and not to twist or turn them into what you want them to be. The truth is letting the other person being themselves and accepting them with all the vulnerabilities they come with. Our own made-up truth is trying to change the person with conditions and creating boundaries. No wonder most people are unhappy with relationships because of not being true to themselves or for not letting others to be true to themselves. Every relationship has love, and then that love is the glue which sticks together. But if that love is controlling, conditional, then slowly the glue falls off. Love is a quality, not something to do with somebody else. Every action that we do is in some way to fulfill certain needs. People have physical, psychological, emotional, financial, and social needs to fulfill. Don't fool yourself into believing that the relationships you have made for convenience, comfort, and well-being are actually relationships of love. The moment there is a condition, it just amounts to a transaction. Maybe convenient transaction and an arrangement. Love need not necessarily be convenient. Most of the time it is not. It takes life. You have to invest yourself. A love affair need not be with any particular person. You could be having a great love affair or a relationship with life itself. In this episode, I focused on relationships in search of the truth. In my next episode, I'll share about burning the ego in search of truth. Thank you for listening to my podcast, Conscious Living. Experience the joy within you. Please check out my book, The True Self. Unlock the chaos in you. It is a timeless journey of teachings from across history and all cultures, a personal journey through universal wisdom. The book is available on Amazon in majority of the countries across the globe. Please subscribe to my podcast, Conscious Living, at Spotify for my next episode. Take care of yourself.